training. Their background was 10 agents, so now they have like 4. We're doing like a.
What was it?
I personally have a band.
Whenever you do that,
Well, getting your business.
if you do something, you get sponsors.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Start doing things normal.
Yeah, right.
It's good to know.
Right.
1 o'clock.
If anyone walks in and the next couple seconds, we'll put them in the drawing, but I don't see any personally, and so anyone else don't.
At least today.
So, just for this $100, just for this $100. So, yeah, I got everyone's name that wants in. So, did everyone meet Mike? Yeah.
Some did, but I'm like Forza, Key Bank Mortgage. I'm glad to be here today. Spend some time with you.
Our guest. Would
Yes.
you like to draw our name for $100
Sure.
contest for everyone else here? We'll put the,
Shake
we'll
it
put the
off,
name
yeah.
back in for the other.
For my other little
Ooh, we have
Zach.
First
Yeah.
office
This
meeting,
is our
first.
first meeting.
It is
All
legit.
right,
I love it.
All right, so you didn't do this before, so how this works is there's a $100 bill in here,
Okay.
and I can see it right now. And then there's a bunch of dollar bills also. You can only pick one bill out of here. that one.
Yeah.
You can keep whatever you want.
Yeah, Zach was an agent with the city. He's been on the forum for a while, just kind
You
of.
want $1. Sorry, you didn't want $100.
Dollars better than $0, so I'll take it.
I don't think anyone wants that, right?
I think we should include are we gonna do another drawing for the mics?
We're gonna do
Yes.
another drawing for Mike's prize that he brought.
Yeah,
Do you want to do it right? Do you want to do it right now?
Sure, why not?
All right.
Or for those
That
that
good?
are here.
Here, you pick the winner.
Yeah, because everyone that's here on time, me.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Your name's not in there. Do you want Zach to pick?
I'll do some right here.
We have another, we're gonna do another drawing also, because David gives away stuff too. Oh, yeah, only one. Tiffany,
Tiffany.
you win that red bag right over there.
That red tag right on
I'm putting your name back in too, because there's more drawings.
there. Yeah.
And if anyone
Few things in
else
there.
wants to, do you want me to put your name in there also? Right, so this is the-
Oh, very nice.
Very nice, right? Yep.
I'm done for
That
now.
will work, right?
Can I be all easy?
Wow. So,
Ding, ding, ding.
yeah.
Okay, so welcome everyone to the May office meeting. So we always seem to start with the awards, so we'll just keep that going. We have April awards in hand. Seems heavy, this is a lot. Is anyone else on Zoom?
Amanda, it looks like Amanda's connected. She's
Yeah,
driving.
why don't you
Maybe she's
drive?
on her way.
Her hair blowing.
I know.
Okay, so first we have the Pineapple Scholar Award, and for those that may not know what that is yet, Zach and Mike. The Pineapple Scholar is someone who went above and beyond training, education, and putting themselves out there to learn more, whether it's the BNR classes or grabbing on me, Melanie or Deb or other agents, or participating in office meetings. So the Pineapple Scholar Award goes to Amy Battaglia. She's going to be watching the recording. The highest price listing in April. Was it the 4 unit? Goes to Julie. Congratulations. That was a great listing. That's all.
How much?
Someone talks.
So I can hear you.
Congratulations on your very first listing at Nickel City. It's Jared.
Sold like that, like Cam.
And congratulations on your very first closing at Nickel City. Walton.
Thank
And then we have a Welcome Home Award, which goes to the agent for the most closings within the month, and that was Rachel. Creative Marketing Award. Deb, would you like to elaborate on why Walter won this award?
We gave Walter this award. Well, you've had many good marketing ideas, But one of them that we liked was that he printed out a bunch of these sheets and he started doing just some random handing out sheets. He just walked around. Did you knock on doors?
Yeah.
Or did you just get?
Nice.
So it was creative. He put market stats for each area. So we did a few different areas and he put the market stats for that area on a little handout. Simply printed them out and started walking around. So it's a great idea.
He's been shopping electric bikes. Why not scooter? Why an electric scooter? Goes over
I-
the line with the gold
One-
sword.
one
I saw a scooter too.
One pothole.
Well, he has the gold, he has the gold suit program that you, I think already. won the
Hey,
award
that's
for.
not rolled out. Yeah, he might get a prize for that later, but not yet. But I bet he'll get another creative marketing award for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Customer service awards. People. Oh, and honestly, I owe you a lot too. I know that selling houses is just your job, but I really do appreciate you a lot. Without you, I wouldn't be where I am. And the whole time during the process, you never gave up on me. And I appreciate you a lot for that. You always look out for customers' best interests, and you are a great realtor and even a better human being. I'm glad I picked you. Sincerely, Jonathan. That went to Gigi. And then with, two final awards, the Agent of the Month also goes to Gigi. She had $1 million month as well. Over 1.5. So that is it for the awards. Gigi crushed it this month. And considering she really wasn't feeling that well too this month, I talked to her a handful of times. She's feeling really good. So congratulations, everyone. And then I'd like to introduce Mike Forzak. He's already said hello once, but I want him to take the floor to talk about what he has to offer.
Appreciate that. Could you hand these out, pass these around? Some stuff there for everybody? Something like that. So anyway, I appreciate the opportunity to speak today. I know some of you guys in the room here, but for those that do not know me, I guess I'll give you my 10-second or 20-second elevator speech. So Mike Forzak with KeyBank Mortgage. So I've been in consumer finance and residential lending way too long, in many shapes and forms since 1986. Okay. I work for KeyBank. I work for a number of groups locally over the years. I reside in Amherst. I have 2 kids. I should say kids, but they're adult children that are maybe 25. My daughter just graduated the past weekend from the University of Dayton. And with the entrepreneurial spirit of Shannon, I guess it's not in my family. My family, also my sister-in-law. She invented my sister-in-law invented. If you've ever gone down to the canal side, my family, we own and operate ice bikes and water bikes in Buffalo. So a little side note of my background. But what I'd like to do today, for those in the room that may already have worked with loan officers at KeyBank or have not, what I'm going to do is within 20 minutes here, just go over, I have some handouts. I'll leave them here. Will be part of the recording, but I want to kind of introduce you to KeyBank Mortgage, let you know, how we, function in Western New York here, obviously, as a lender in Western New York, and as a pretty large regional player, we're the 13th largest bank in the country. Over the last 5 or 6 years, we merged. Obviously, I was with First Niagara. We merged with KeyBank, and since that time, over this past and last year, as a company, we closed over $14 billion worth of mortgages throughout our footprint. So we're pretty well adapted.
Just Buffalo?
No, that's from Maine to Alaska. And in Western New York last year, I think we did over 400 million just in this footprint. So, we're very well versed, when it comes to, your customers working with me, our operations center, and our mortgage processing is in Buffalo. So access to processors, underwriters and so forth everything's housed here in Buffalo. Although a lot of that is remote now, but our operations center for mortgages is over on Ridge Lake, where they're going to be building that new Costco out there as well. Okay. So that being said, what I want to do is, if we go through these flyers real quick, and I hope everybody in your little packet there got a little scratch off too.
Yeah.
Maybe you win, a few dollars here. But, so when it comes to lenders today, and I know in this room and throughout West New York, there's a lot, right? And consumers today, there's a lot of places they can go to get a mortgage. A lot of them, start that first click typically on the internet times, and there's internet lenders, there's local lenders, there's standalone mortgage companies, there's banks like us that do more. So there's a lot of places to get them. And we're all not the same. Okay, so what I want to review is just, I like to go over what I call the added value things that we can do for you at KeyBank and to help you grow your business and hopefully added value, and what I can do for you as a trusted mortgage advisor. So some of you guys may have heard this, in West New York already about KeyBank, but one of our first-time home buyer programs that we have is called Key Community. So Key Community is a great program for a first-time home buyer where it is no money down. So as you may know, minimum down payments today on any house purchase is 0 to 5%. So this program is no money down, it's 100% financing. There's no MI with it. So as you know, if you put less than 20% down, a lot of mortgages got to have MI. With this program, there's no MI. So that means it can increase the buying power a little bit. It allows 4% seller concessions. It also allows for grant programs. So this is a great program that when a customer calls me up, and as we know, when we look at a mortgage profile, look at income credit, funds to work with, customer says, hey, Mike, I have decent credit, good income, I have no money to work with. How do I buy a house with the least amount of money out of my pocket? This is a great program for this. I'll show you an example in a few minutes regarding how that might work. But so there's programs out there, no matter with me or the lenders, where people can still buy houses today. That myth of 20% down, which still is out there. You don't need, if you can put 20% down, obviously great, but there's a lot of programs where customers can buy, houses with not a lot of money out of the pocket. Or if they have the funds and they just don't want to tap those funds, because they want to keep it in their pocket for remodeling and so forth, they can do that as well. Okay, so that's a great product for first-time home buyers. The other product that's been in vogue over the last number of years, I'm sure hopefully you've used it, the medical professional product, Dr. Dentist. Have you guys heard of that product? Use that product with other lenders? Yes, no? Heard about it? All right, so that product is great today, in every community, especially in Western New York, where large healthcare community, a lot of hospitals, a lot of docs, a lot of that. So this is a program, again, for a medical professional that is licensed, okay, which would be a doctor or a dentist, 100% financing, no MI, loan amounts to 3.5 million. And it also has a little caveat that a lot of times with doctor dentists, they have a lot of student loans. So depending on where the student loans are, okay, they may not need to be counted in qualifying. Okay, so it's a great program for, you know how doctors or dentists, they go through a lot of schooling, they're come out of residency, they got a lot of student loan debt, they still have really good income, okay, and they want to buy a house, don't have a lot of funds to work with. Again, it's a medical professional program, Dr. Dent, okay. We get calls for it all the time, both locally and throughout the country. There's not a lot of us that offer this program. I'm sorry, my phone. But it's a great product, for that professional, no money down, rates are great. I'll talk about rates in a minute. Okay, so again, when you look at products today, we're here to take care of customers. So these are some niche products that, again, hopefully, if you know about these products and you're talking to customers, it gives you a little added advantage to that conversation. Okay. The stuff below this, silver key, gold key, these are, all lenders have what are called, if you know the difference between standard Fannie Freddie and jumbo loans. So jumbo loans today, you can do standard mortgages up to like 648,000. So for these are for customers that typically are buying the bigger properties. Anything over that, or even if it's, still a $300,000-400,000 type mortgage, these are, somewhat of a niche product for, higher purchase prices, jumbo loans. Fannie and Freddie have raised their bar quite a bit that, you would think, about 10 years ago, a jumbo loan in Western New York or in the industry was considered like $350,000. Today a jumbo loan is up to $648,000 over that.
That is
Okay.
great, though, that jumbo difference Well, when I first started in real estate.
Right.
A jumbo loan was like $300,000.
Yeah, it was like nothing, and now, so it has gone up, but we do have products that, are for that customer buying $1 million house and need a jumbo loan and so forth. So those are larger loans, okay? I don't do a lot, but again, we do 80-10-10. These are programs where if a customer, wants to avoid MI, they can do 10% down, 10% home equity, 80% mortgage. It's kind of a niche product, okay? But it's for that customer that, has money to work with, but maybe just want to put the 20% down, doesn't want the MI.
For summer newer
Okay.
agents, could you explain what PMI is?
Sure, PMI is there, so if you're putting less than 20% down on any mortgage product,
Private mortgage insurance.
private mortgage insurance, or FHA has MIP, mortgage insurance premium. So what that is there for, so any customer puts less than 20% down, that is there, and they pay it on a monthly basis until they get to 20% equity property. And that basically covers the lender for partial default. So if the loan, they don't pay, if it goes to foreclosure, obviously we're not in the real estate business, we don't want foreclosures, but if we have to sell that house, okay, we typically are gonna sell it at a discount. And if there's MI, that MI premium will cover some of our losses. So it's there for the future event of default.
So
Okay,
anyone that finances any conventional,
any conventional,
that
Any-
finances a home, if they're putting down less than 20%,
they're gonna have MI.
they have to.
And it's not, again, I tell people too, the MI, it's a factor based on your credit score, which I'll talk about in a
Yeah,
minute too.
how is it calculated? Like,
Yeah, so the way it's calculated, so, everybody knows about credit scores today, from segue over there. So typically in my industry today, I have like 4 buckets of credit scores we look at. So if you're between 580 and 619, okay, that's like the lowest rung of the mortgage credit score bucket. You can get loans done in there, but it's typically an FHA low score loan. And some FHA low score loans will go less than 580. We do not offer those at Key, and a lot of lenders do not. But those that offer them, typically it's on that FHA product, it's 10% down, rates are higher, it's harder underwriting, and it's really, personally, it's not a good product for the customer. Okay, and I tell people all the time, because I get calls on it, I'm like, the product's there, but it's not really, I'd rather help you build your credit and get you into a better product than that one. Then you go from 620 to 679. So the 620 to 679 bucket, that's the bucket that's like where we want customers to be at minimum. They have that conversation regarding all mortgage programs. Then we go 680 to 740. That bucket, again, that bucket is there, it's a little bit higher credit score. So with that, because on some of the lower credit scores, more down payment, interest rates higher, fees and so forth. And then you get to 740 or higher. So that's a quick bucket score of credit, okay? But with the MI stuff, so typically it's a factor, like car insurance or any insurance, the lower the credit score, the higher the MI factor. So MI factors can be anywhere on the top, on the high credit score. You can have an MI factor of like 0.25%, okay, up to lower credit scores of like 1.25%. And what that is it's a 0.25% of the, so if it's 0.25 on 100,000 over 12 months, it's like $25, okay? But as the credit score goes down, the MI goes up. Okay? So that's what the MI is.
So the Key Community Mortgage Program,
No MI. So-
and that would, you would need a higher credit score.
So on that, we do look for credit scores in the 660 range, okay? So some of this stuff is good question, is some of it is credit score driven, but if we can put a customer into that product with no MI, then obviously it increases their affordability. Relationship pricing at KeyBank, any customer that has a standard checking or savings account gets a 1/4 point discount for mortgage rates built into the pricing model, which is a good thing. So it gives us a competitive advantage. This stuff, which is want to spend a little time for the, as realtors and partners here. So one thing that kind of sets us apart that can help you with your customers and when you're talking listings. So besides doing mortgages at KeyBank, I can facilitate and help with home equity lines, home equity loans, unsecured home improvement loans. So I don't know if Shannon might know or Jeff, but at KeyBank, we do unsecured home improvement loans. They can get approved in 24 hours, okay? You gotta have probably a decent credit score. They can go up to like $50,000, like 8-year repayment plan. Rates today are probably 6 or 7%. But the reason that's a good thing that we offer that for you guys, you go to the listing, right? How many people want to upgrade their house or need to do some work, okay? They can get an unsecured home improvement loan in 24 to 48 hours. Obviously, use that money to improve the property. Then when they list the property, they pay off the unsecured loan. Okay, it's a great tool for realtors locally that, walk in the house and like, wow, if we just had this bathroom updated or this done, and the customer's like, well, how do I do that? They don't have they don't have anything in place. Unsecured home improvement loan that we offer at KeyBank's a great product.
Buyer that's looking to buy a house, make an offer on the house, they still apply for a loan like that? Even if
Oh,
they
sure,
don't-
yeah.
They don't own it yet, though.
Yeah, well,
They're about to close. or-
yeah, sure, yeah, because it's an unsecured, it's called home improvement loan, it's an unsecured loan. Okay, so it can be used for both the seller and buyer, okay? We also have, if you see in here too, that goes along with that, we also offer pool loans. So someone wants to buy a house, put an in-ground pool in, someone wants, yes, unsecured.
So the buyer could apply even though they don't own the house.
Well, no, we gotta technically own the house.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be, but it doesn't have to be a part of like the offer.
No,
No, my question is that they want a house and they want to do repairs to it after they own it.
yeah, so the
Can
day
they
after
apply-
they own it, we can get it teed up the day after they own it.
Okay, that's what I needed to know.
Yes.
Like, can they apply right away?
No, not as I guess, as a renter,
If it's owned?
you have to own them. Yeah. At least on the application, they put down that they're a homeowner for the,
Do you have to verify where the monies go after they?
nope. Not at all. So, wink, wink, although it's called unsecured home improvement. It's not, yeah, it's not-
Secured debt payment.
Rental property?
yeah, it's not like,
payment?
I can tell you right now, it's not like we have the unsecured home improvement compliance officer. Making sure that it's being used.
Do
okay?
inspections?
Yeah.
Can you update
Okay.
that?
The other thing we have on here that is good, we do loan assist and secure credit cards. So what that's for, you're the customer today that decent income, and I get them all the time, decent income, decent funds to work with, has limited credit, no credit score, they need to establish credit. Okay, we offer that as well. It's a loan assist, it's a secure credit card that we have locally at KeyBank. Okay, any questions on that? Because I'm going pretty fast with this stuff, keep up with the time here. Okay. Open house sheets, we do marketing too. I have technology, we do open house sheets. I have on here referrals to give out, mortgage coaching, and lending in 43 states. So as you know, I work for KeyBank. We have a lot of branches in Western New York, which means we have a lot of customers. Okay, we do a lot of internal marketing at KeyBank. So I get customers all the time that reach out to us through my branch network. They want to get pre-qualified, they're looking to do something. And as you know, I always ask them, are you working with a realtor? Right? Yes, no, maybe. I'm working with them, but I really don't know them. My aunt's a realtor. I was thinking of calling her. Okay. So obviously with my relationships with, Nickel City or all my realtors, anytime we can give referrals out, and we have, okay, because we have thousands of customers, in Western New York that walk into our branches, okay? Call us on the phone, go to our website. So we do have referrals, which again, for both of us is the best type of relationship, right? Mortgage coaching, I put that in there. I know Shannon mentioned, I'd be glad to come back out. So because I've been doing this for so long, if you guys, I don't even care if you send me a deal, but if you have a question, okay, you don't understand what's going on with this customer, you got a pre-call from somewhere else that sounds goofy, okay? I've been doing this way too long and know too much about the industry that I agree with my realtor friends call me at times, like, Mike, this customer got this pre-qual in front of me from here, what do you think? Okay, I have no problem answering questions, calling me on the phone, running stuff by me, etc. So that's part of the relationship that I have with my partners is I love the coach, I love the help, even if it doesn't get me something, if it's good for you, and it's good for the customer, so that you get the deal and the customer doesn't get taken advantage of through something else, and we all know that can happen today. I'm glad to coach, okay? The other thing too, if you have any out-of-state customers, we lend in 43 different states, so most every state in the country, South Carolina, Florida, California, people buying second homes, etc. So if you have that, again, we can lend in pretty much every state throughout the country. Okay, so a lot of good stuff here. We offer the standard products, for those that are new in the room, but, the standard conventional, right? Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA. Keep in mind, and I always tell this, my realtors, believe it or not, even in this industry, I can stand up here all day long and talk about all these products and how great we are. Believe it or not, 90% of customers today either are doing a conventional loan or an FHA, a VA, a Sunny Mae. So these other products, we have them and they're good for certain type of customers, but a lot of customers are still doing the bread and butter mortgages today. Okay, just because, it doesn't make sense for them, or some of these programs are income and credit driven. So there's still a lot of business that just is done with standard Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA, VA, etc. Okay, obviously we all talk about it. We do pre-qualifications just like everybody else, conditional pre-approvals. They go directly for me. We run through, as you know, what can they be approved for, what's my payments. It's my job there. I will not put my name or issue a pre-qualification conditional approval letter if I'm not going to stand behind it. That doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't do anything for you, and it doesn't do anything for your customer. What I tell my customers all the time is, if for some reason I'm not going to issue that letter, I always say to them, I'm not saying no, but I may have to say not at this time. And here is why. Here's what you need to do. Here's what we can do. Here's a different way to structure it. So it's never a no, but it could be not at this time. We have to look at something different. Co-signers, etc. Okay. So again, because I've been doing this way too long, okay, I'm not going to give out a letter that I don't stand behind, and I can tell you that, my closing ratio, in my tenure is probably 95% or higher. Because just like you in this room, I don't get paid unless a loan closes. So why would I waste my time to throw a letter out there that is worthless if we know we can't stand behind it? Okay. So other thing too I do that I put in here, I'm also, because of how long I've been in this industry, I'm also a certified credit counselor with a local group called Consumer Credit Counseling of Buffalo, which I'm going to do real quick here. So I'm very well versed.
Well, do you have someone that would fit in what he offers? Like, sketchy credit?
So as a certified credit counselor,
There's a lot.
which I'll get into. So there you go. Right? But, so again, we're all about in our industry, just like you need to have a pipeline, right? We need to have customers. So if a customer is having a problem, okay, either qualifying credit, I'm not going to tell that customer too bad, so sad. But if they're sincere, I have a background that I will work with them on their credit through the agency I've worked through. So I can help these customers and position themselves. They may not be able to buy a house in 2 months, but they might be able to buy a house in 8 months. Okay. So with my background and knowledge in the industry and credit, and that's something I can also offer to you guys. Okay. So that being said, real quick here. Yep.
Do you ever host or advertise and have like classes for anyone? How to
Yes.
increase credit?
Yes. So when it comes to training or, I'll be presenting at the BNR in June. They're doing their first time home buyers. I do a 10-minute section there on just credit. I I can teach you guys if you ever want me to come back and teach a class on,
Well,
Right.
I'm thinking like the community, like,
or the community, yeah.
like
I mean,
if I need Nichols Page, I wanted to like collaborate with
Yes.
Mike, and then we
Yes,
host something here at the
Yes.
office on like a Wednesday night from 5 to 6 or
Correct.
6
Yeah.
to 7, and then, you know, we would have them as leads in a way.
Correct.
Team up, I mean, they might not be immediate leads because they have to.
right, but you always want, again, like, the reason I like that stuff is there's a lot of people out there, like Shannon is saying, that they want to do something, they want to be homeowners, but they're like,
We're so close, but not. they're not
right,
gonna get-
and you know what? And they're afraid to have that conversation because, you know, they're afraid of going on the 800 number. I can tell you now, when I talk to people about credit, and I tell them that there's a local agency that can help them with this, and I ask them, have they ever heard of this local agency? You know what they say? No. This agency's been around since 1964. We're, you know, like, and there's other agencies like that, Belmont, Urban, you know, there's other not-for-profits locally that can assist consumers with that. And customers don't even know these groups are here in Buffalo. And most of these counseling sessions review for this stuff are free.
My parents use consumer credit meetings.
Right. I mean, no, I mean,
remember.
right. And I counsel there once or two nights.
Yeah.
I still counsel there. Because I believe in their mission, I like helping people, and it's good for them.
Yeah, They end up doing the mortgage for you, right?
Well, yeah, well, hopefully, I mean,
Yeah.
we'd like that, but
Yeah.
even if not,
It's gotta be pretty rewarding though for you to
Oh,
get them
sure.
to
Right.
finally be able to purchase, that's cool.
so even if they don't, you know, because I've been at this way too long, you know, as long as I'm helping someone and they're not being taken advantage of by an 800 number, a credit repair company, you know, that's a whole, you know, different conversation that exists today, but if I'm helping them and it gets them where they want to be, and they do the mortgage through me, great. If not, so be it. Okay. All right. So that being said, real quick here, I gave you this little. So as mortgage companies, we hand out these estimates. So this is.
This is awesome that you brought this.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
for everyone to see.
we all give these estimates out. You know, you may not, you know, whoever you work with, or whatever lenders you work with, customers ask me all the time, what is it gonna take to buy a house? So I did a quick example here. If you flip to the back, because I have to do a two-sided, but. So I did a quick example here of our key community program for a purchase price of 200,000. So as you can see here in the loan summary, 200,000 prepaids, what prepaids are, that's for property taxes, homeowners insurance, you gotta fund the prepaids, you gotta fund the escrow as part of the cost to buy the house. Then you have your standard closing costs. So on this side, if you ever wanted to see what lenders have for standard closing costs, application fee, appraisal fee, credit, flood, title, that's the attorney stuff, recording fees, mortgage tax, then below here is the prepaid. Okay, so all lenders, we all have pretty much the same closing costs. Okay, there's not a lot of disparity, especially in Western New York, Erie County, state of New York. We're all gonna have, our closing costs are roughly all gonna be, we may be $200 or $300, $400 or $500 off, but there's not a lot of disparity.
Is that because a lot of the other fees are just the same?
Yeah, they're all third party.
Okay.
This is
Like the
everything.
tax search fee is gonna
Yes.
be the same,
Yep.
endorsement.
The only thing that's not third party here that's directly related to KeyBank is our application. Everybody has an
That's
application
high,
fee.
Mike,
What's that?
that's high.
No. Everybody had, believe it or not, application fee. Some of them, we have one application fee, maybe not.
All I'm saving is.
Well, you're right, you're right.
$500.
Okay, sorry. All right, you're right. True.
But their rates not that good.
Right, okay, so the community, like all the state bank, you know, I guess if we compare apples to apples, you know.
So,
we're
yeah,
not
they're like a
that.
credit union
Correct.
almost. I think, in-house.
So, but typical lenders like us, we're gonna have an application fee, a processing fee, underwriting, some have 3, some have 2, we have, everybody has 1, but they're all in that range, okay? And the reason I say that, they're in that range, because if we weren't in that range and we were too high, because we're in this business doing so much loans, obviously I'd be going to my loans, I mean, our application fee compared to
Yeah, yeah.
anybody else is too high.
Well, what I tell people, when buyers, let's say, when they're shopping for mortgages, I tell them we want to shop, what's my spiel? 'Cause I haven't said it, so I say, we want to shop 3 things. We want to shop interest rate, closing costs, and then make sure you points.
Yep.
Because some lenders, like you take in points and explain what they are, what the deal is. I guess for training purposes too, could you explain what points are?
So
what
what
they do?
points are, okay, real quick. Spend hours on that. So what the points are, so if you're ever out there, not that you want to have fun
Can I-
with this, but
Does anyone here actually know what
do,
points
yeah,
are?
good
Does
question.
anyone know what they are?
Yes, yes. Yep.
I
It's
know.
used to buy down your interest rate, or it's part of the lender's pricing model. So we all, as lenders, I don't care, you can mention any lender locally, the bigger ones, okay? We all on a daily basis have a pricing model based on the loan program, based on the guy's credit score, the loan amount, is it a second home, is it investment property, so it's the pricing model. I put the customer's mortgage profile, what you're looking to do in the model, and it comes out and says, here's the rate today, with or without points. So if you go to KeyBank's website right now, our rates are advertised every day on the website. If you read the fine print, okay, our rates right now that we're advertising for purchase and refi is, most lenders are gonna advertise a no point model or very limited points. It's called par pricing. Okay, so I tell customers all the time, right now in the industry, most lenders are advertising rates, short-term to long-term, 4.25 to 5.25 for owner-occupied standard mortgage. And in that pricing model today, there could be a quarter to a half point baked into that model today because of where rates are. Okay. 2 or 3 months ago or 2 years ago, when rates were so low, remember rates were at 3% or lower, there was no points being built into these models because rates were at the floor. Now they've gone up. So most lenders are baking in some points into their pricing model. And I tell customers that all the time, okay? So if a customer comes to me and I say, look, our model today is 5% with a quarter point, but if you want 4.875, we can charge you another quarter point and you can buy down your rate. And the buying down of the rate, that's all that is. If it's a quarter point, a half point, it's tying the loan amount. So if it's a loan amount of 200,000, a half point on 200,000 is $1,000, then that just gets added to the closing costs. Okay. So in a rising interest rate environment, which unfortunately we are in, okay, it is a good idea for customers that have the funds to do so, to pay some points to get a lower rate today. In a decreasing environment, which we were in for way too long, you would probably not be paying points to buy down your rate because it's so low already. Why pay more money out of your pocket, right? Okay, so makes sense on the point thing. As quick as I can on that. So in this example here, this is a no point example. Because if there were points, it would show here. But this I ran par pricing. I ran this yesterday at a key community. 30-year loan, 5%, no MI. So if you go to the back here real quick. So in the back of this, the loan summary, you see the purchase price, the total cost. So in here, I know seller concessions are tough today, but this product allows 4% seller concessions, which is $8,000. So today, if we did a key community with no money down, seller concessions, how much do they need to bring to the table? Loaded questions right in front, $1,400. So they need $1,400 to get into that house. Okay, so moral of the story here, when it comes to loan programs today, especially key community or other ones, if you come to me, I can show any customer how to buy a house with no money out of their pocket. It's tough today because as realtors today, if you put an offer in front of someone today with multiple offers, doing a key community, no money down, $8,000 in seller concessions, probably what's going to happen. Right. Okay, so it's tough today in this market, but there are products today. We have them. I know how to work with them, that for customers that want to buy a house with either not tapping what they have in the bank account now or limited funds to work with, You can buy houses today with no money out of your pocket. Okay, and keep in mind too, if I wanted to build this $1,400 as a lender credit into their interest rate, I could. Means I inflate the rate and give them a credit at closing. I could wipe this $1,400 off.
Oh, you can do that.
Yes. So besides,
That's like a lender concession.
yes, correct. So instead of buying down the rate, I can go to a customer and say today, hey, our market rate's 5%, but if you want 6%, or not want, I can give you 6% and you'll get a credit from us of $5,000. Then that's built into their rate. Now their payment will be higher, right? But as long as they can afford that or are okay with that. So there's ways in the lending industry, and just so you know, because I'm totally transparent, everything I'm talking about here, all lenders can do this. They can,
I've never heard of that.
yes. Well, because it's always not in vogue, okay? But all lenders can do this, but all lenders may not talk about it because everybody just wants to do the quick, the easy, how fast, give me my pre-qual, but
Can you guys do pre-commitments?
we are not doing those at this time. We are hopefully going to get back into that business. That's where we do a formal, loan commitment. We had to stop doing those because over the last 2 years of business manpower issues. So we're hoping to bring that back. But we do not have it.
I was interviewed this morning by Jonathan Epstein. About
Yeah, I know, John.
And
Yeah.
he was asking me about interest rates. So what do you see happening now, between now and the end of the year with rates?
So good question.
He did just ask me about rates. I have a few questions.
So good question. So as we know, the prime lending rate, which is the benchmark rate, that the Fed plays with, okay, is now at 4%. Was at 3, went to 3.25, went to 3.5, it's at 4. Okay. Now, that did affect interest rates. So like I just told you a few minutes ago, standard conventional rates today, 15-year to 30, right now today, are between 4.25 and 5.25. Which, historically speaking, remember, I don't know how old you guys are in this room, but when I first got into this industry, believe it or not, everybody says,
16%.
well, yeah, the prime lending rate, when I got out of college in 1986, the prime lending rate, which is at 4 today, was at 12%. Wow. Believe it
Yeah,
or
but
not.
the purchase price was significant.
Correct.
Oh,
No, 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 no,
yeah.
no.
12% on a house that's $500,000 per kid.
Well, that's the problem we have today. I mean, that's a whole other conversation, how we got to this unaffordable, inflated real estate.
I have just a quick question before you get, the key community mortgage program for first home buyers,
Mhm.
is the rate higher compared to other loans
No.
because of the program?
No,
So it's
again,
the same.
yes. It
Depending on
might even be lower, because remember, without getting, again, to talk all day about this, so that product for us, it's a CRA product. Community Reinvestment Act, you guys have all heard about that, redlining,
Oh, yeah.
all that stuff, okay? As a lender, okay, because we're so big, we have the government regulators in our office, in our headquarters, like every other day. So when we're doing products like this, we can't charge someone 6%. We actually have to charge them at times a lower rate because it's CRA. Okay, it's income driven, address driven, it's community reinvestment. Okay,
Okay,
so anyway, as far as
quick answer, Scott. I have a fire question. to ask.
so the interest rate thing, as far as where I see them going, so this is how goofy the market is, right? So the Fed raises the prime lending rate, interest rates adjust. So if you guys ever follow, this is so interesting, right? The 10-year bond, ever heard about the 10-year bond is the yield that affects interest rates. So the 10-year bond over the last 30 days went up to like 3.125%. Like it hasn't been over 3 in like 5 years. Okay. This morning, it's down under 3. You're right? So same with me. I'm like, they raised rates, yet the 10-year bond that went up now has come back down. So what that tells you is because of other things going on in the world, domestically inflation and so forth, when the yield goes down, that means more money is going into the bond market because it's a safe haven. And you know what's happening with the stock market, right? So it's weird to see the Fed trying to put the brakes, the bond yield coming down. So we won't know until what they do in June if they raise that rate again. But I'm anticipating that, this is just me personally, between now and the end of the year, I don't think rates are gonna go as higher faster than everybody was thinking. I think they could go up another 0.5 point realistically.
You don't think 7, 8? Yeah.
No, I personally don't. Okay, I think we'll have to see how it plays out, inflation, there's other factors that play in it, but just to see what happened in the last 30 days with them raising rates and now the bond market yield going down, it's interesting to me,
I was
so.
just in Denver and I was at a conference for business brokers and there was an economist there I was speaking to, and he thinks rates are gonna go up towards 8, 9% by the end of the year. But what do you think? Okay, if rates, whatever, okay, so if they go up to, who cares? If they go up to 6, 7, 8, whatever they go up to, let's say they go up to 6, what do you think that's gonna do to buyers? Their buying power is naturally less.
Yes.
Do you think buyers are gonna like fall off and there's
Good
not as
question.
many?
And again, I thought of that over the last number of days, or last number of weeks, but believe it or not, and I've lived through I did mortgages back in the day when rates were high. A lot of customers I talk to right now, they are not, and this is your point, they're not afraid of higher rates. They're not, because I have them call me all the time, like, Mike, I own a house, I like to sell and buy another one. And they're like, financially, they're good, credit is good, they're not afraid of the rate. You know what they're afraid of? Well, they're afraid of, hey, I'm not afraid of the rate, I'm not afraid of the higher payment, but what I'm afraid of is I gotta go buy this 2,000 square foot property for 400,000 that needs $100,000 in repairs. Or not repairs, but 100,000 in upgrades. That's what the buyer is more afraid of today than the higher interest rate.
They're not
Yep.
getting their money's worth.
What's that?
They're not, essentially not getting their money's worth.
Right, I
They
talked
think they're
to,
gonna get so much
yeah,
more for
I talked to a good
$200,000.
customer of mine that I put them in an FHA loan 4 years ago, first time home buyer. They have equity, they have a kid now, they want a bigger house. I pre-qualified them for up to 400,000 and they're like, if we can find something that we feel comfortable with, it's not a piece of,
Right,
oh,
Yeah.
fill in the blank. They're like, we would buy in a heartbeat and they can go non-contingent. Okay? But from what I'm seeing with buyers today, and first-time buyers especially, okay, when you see 3-bedroom, 1-bath ranches that I'm doing a loan for a first-time home buyer at a purchase price of $218,000 and a mortgage payment just under $1,700 for minimum down. And they make like $70,000 a year. So that's my comment on that is, I don't think people are afraid of rates going up. They're more afraid of having to pay $220,000 for a less than 1,000 square foot ranch in Western New York.
I just had a couple.
So,
Like not my clients, but a couple agents in the office, there was one buyer that decided to give up after losing like 4 or 5 offers, going 100,000 over asking, and then being frustrated, and then add insult to injury or salt to the wound when the rate went up,
Yeah.
their pre-approval changed by almost a point.
Yeah.
They said, screw this, I quit.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if we're gonna see like a decrease in buyer pool because of that frustration.
well, we'll have to see how it plays out, but my comment to that too is, it's weird. So I issue pre-quals that are good for 4 months, right?
Rate.
Are-
Rates.
No, rates are fine, no. Pre-qualifications and pre-approvals, they're good, they're issued, once I pull credit, they're good for 4 months.
Does the rate stay the same?
No,
for how much?
No, it's,
See, yeah.
but and I have reissued a ton of those. And I also, once when we go to reissue, or before we reissue, we're always sending emails out to the customer, hey, your pre-qual's expiring, your pre-qual's expiring, call me, right? Okay. Then if they don't reach out to me, I get a thing that says loan decision, which means we never reissue. Okay. But for as many of those that I'm not reissuing, I'm still backfilling it with new ones. So that to me, I had to think about that. I'm like, so there's a lot of people frustrated, but then there's a lot that are like, yeah, we're okay with the rising interest rate environment. We just want to find a house that, no, that we don't think we're overpaying for, and we're happy with it.
So the perception of value is like construed, it's gotta
Yes,
catch up with itself.
yes.
Okay, so here's another thing too, everyone, like a good rule of.
That's
thumb.
just, I mean, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's what I'm seeing out there.
I would say a good rule of thumb too is when you are accepting offers, and listing agent, keep your eye on the pre-approval date. It should be within like
3 to 4
30,
months.
30,
You said-
60 days
30
max.
days, I would say 30
I
days.
use-
if it's-
If
I
it's
would
like.
Oh, with
recommend-
that, no, yeah.
Yeah, if it was from like last month, I'm calling and saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, if you have a pre-qual expiring in the next 30 days, that should probably be relooked at.
I would say it was issued within like, I said, like 45 days or less. But if it's like 3 months old, they're pre-approval, get a new one.
Yes.
Yeah,
I always think,
well, right now with the rates, I've been doing it, well, when I started going.
All right, so the last thing I'm gonna leave you with is, okay, so outside of all this great stuff we spoke about, remember I told you certified credit counselor, so this other thing I put in this flyer, this little handout here about consumer credit counseling services, so I'm always big on added value. What can set you apart when you're talking to customers, who you're, at least knowing what's out there, so good added value is the agency, I don't do these because I'm a certified credit counselor, not a certified housing counselor. Okay, so the agency will do, if you have a customer, besides me talking to them, and talking about credit, the agency offers home ownership readiness counseling. You guys can read this, okay? You come across a customer that's like, I want to buy a house, but I'm probably not going to do it for a year. And I need help with my credit.
Is it similar to like NAPA?
No, NACA is like a home buying club, I call it. This is not. Okay. So at this agency, if you're going to go to their website, financial counseling education agency, they offer what I call down and dirty counseling sessions. Okay, like this session here, you're either in person or on the phone with a certified housing counselor for 1 hour. It's $25. Okay, they will put together a profile, run the credit report, talk to them about what's on their credit, how to make it better. That the income, the standard mortgage 101 stuff. Okay, $25 for 1 hour. For a customer that you come across that wants to be a home buyer, doesn't know where to start, sure. You can send them to me at KeyBank and I'll do the same thing, but if I'm on the phone, I have a customer that I have them all the time. I'm not gonna say no, but not at this time. What do we do from here? So outside of me, I have a credit background, I always tell people, I can send you to Consumer Credit Counseling Service of Buffalo. They have a home readiness counseling session. It's $25, 1 hour with counseling, and they will go through this with you to give you more knowledge about home ownership and how to position yourself. And then the other thing that's nice about that is because I work for the agency, if they've done this for the agency and I need to get their permission to look at the credit report that the agency pulled, I could do that. Okay. So again, these are things that you may not even know that exist locally when it comes to stuff like this. It's there for the consumer. Okay, to help them with their personal finances, home ownership, credit, and so forth. And believe it or not, sometimes at the agency, this stuff they don't even charge because if they get a grant that would cover this, or if they're a veteran, they may not even have to pay $25 to have a session. Then it's free. Okay. So that being said, it's.
That's awesome. Does anyone?
But I mean, I'll stick around for questions, but what I try to do here is throw as much information as part out to you to let you know, what's out there in the industry. Now keep in mind, I always talk real quick, and I'll end this. I always hear, this is just some notes I had here. Banks are slower, closing costs are higher than non-banks for mortgages. Okay. Total myth. we wouldn't be doing $14 billion in mortgages over the last 12 months if we weren't consciously aware of having on-time commitments, seamless closings. So to me, especially in Western New York, that's a myth, okay? Closing costs and rates, there's never a huge disparity between lenders. Remember I said, 90% of mortgages are Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. All the rates today, after the house, if you were around for the housing crisis, 10 years, 2008, after that happened, everything became so transparent, okay? I know what every lender's doing. I know what the rates are every given day. We all know what our cards are. There's no hokey pokey anymore. There's no bait and switch. The consumer's totally protected, okay? So there's not a lot of disparities between banks, not banks, Rocket Mortgage, all the stuff that's out there, okay? Funds to close, again, the other thing I just wanted to mention here, we talked about credit scores, but so when it comes to funds to close, because customers always ask me about, so rule of thumb is, like to, give you an idea. I tell customers all the time, if you're buying a house for 200,000, okay, take 10.5% of whatever the purchase price is. So 10.5% of 200,000 is like $22,000. If you're doing standard mortgages today, FHA, forget VA, it's no money down. Your standard with minimum down payment, closing costs, prepaid. That's the conversation we're having. Okay. If you're buying a house for 100,000, it's 11 grand. Now it may be a little less than that, but throw in attorney fees, home inspection, miscellaneous. Okay. And then where do those funds come from? They either come from their own, right? Checking, savings, CDs, IRAs, 401ks. Okay. Gift funds, seller concessions, or as a lender, if we're offering lender credits, we will be coming out of KeyBank with, for some of our first-time home buyers, we will be coming, some lenders already have it where they give $2,000 as a gift as the lender towards the closing costs. So there's always ways to say, hey, if you need 20 grand, and here's where it's going to come from, what do you got? What don't you want to use? Can you get a gift? The seller concessions work. Do you want a higher interest rate so you get a lender credit? There's always ways to slice and dice that conversation for the customer. Okay. A lot of customers don't know that. They're like, oh, I gotta have 20% down and I need to have that in my checking account. Right?
Well, I always tell them, I don't know those answers, so just call Mike or call the
No,
loan officer.
But
Call the loan officer.
again, I need to know, because I've done this for so long, I've worked with, I know enough to be dangerous what you guys do. I like to at least give you some tidbits, because you're in front of customers. You're at a party, somebody wants to buy a house, they're like, oh, how much do I need? Well, right then and there, if you take 10.5% of whatever their purchase is, if it's 400,000, then it's over 40 grand for a standard mortgage today. Now, if they're doing a VA, because there's no money down, but they do doctor debt, so then that can, but general mortgages, 10.5%. Plays out all the time. Okay. So, all right, we do, debt to income, we go up to 50%. I can get another. But the one good thing I like to tell realtors is that funds to close 10.5% of all the time. If you want to check my math, if you take real quick on 200,000, if you're doing a conventional loan, 5% down, 5% of 200 is what? 10 grand. Added these other closing costs and prepaids, which were what? Over just about 10 grand. That's 20 grand on 200,000, right? 10% of 200. Good thing my math is right today. Okay.
Do we have any copies left up here?
Yeah, there's,
Or if you want, you can email me that.
I can email you that too, but there are other copies that are over there. They should be
There's a
here.
couple extra copies in there. Well, thanks, Mike.
But
Thank you.
hopefully,
Thank you.
feel free. I do have- Yeah, who's taking the extra scratch? Here's some cards of mine.
Yeah, Mike says he's staying through the end of the meeting, so.
Yeah, if you get any
grab an answer
questions.
for anything, 'cause we still have a bunch to go.
I know you got a
through.
bunch to go through. The other thing too, over here, I don't know if they're, I don't know if they're melted, but if you guys want to put stuff. I did bring some.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
thank
I
you.
got sandwiches.
Oh, Mike, thank you, that's awesome. Well, I'm excited of this, oh my God. Everyone, most of everyone should know David. David is our very own.
There's some napkins.
And he has some closing bets to go over that actually might be my favorite that I've seen so far. Oh, I love them. So here's the floor for David.
So I'm here on behalf of John Campbell, who is a friend and coworker of mine at Pizzeria. And he does more working on the side. And he's just trying to get stuff ready. He's been working really hard on these. So there's 4 different boxes. I don't know if everyone has a sheet or not in the middle here.
Yeah, please take one.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah, I know, right? Great.
I'm gonna bring you a clock, so let's go.
Okay, so basically, the bread and butter for him is cutting boards. He loves working with wood. He joins them together with all the wood grains and everything. So here's some examples of what you can see from the different wood patterns. Very nice. You can pass this around. So he has 3 different sizes. It's like that one's more like a cheese board. Usually the ones he makes for customers are more rectangular. And then we have these bigger ones here. With this. This is 2 inches. Like a nice big chopping block. That's wood. So we can get those in 2 inches or 1 inch thick. And then there's the big box here, which comes with kind of like a sampling of everything. Real nice theme for like kitchen with like a cheese board, slate cheese board. Everything's engraved. Color. There's like that. And it comes with like yeah, it's like a little like gift box. Cheese knives. Yeah, these toasters. You get a set of 4 coasters. Obviously, these are unbranded, like personal. They're branded in the city, but obviously they all have like personal information on it.
Do you have some of your personal information that you can show us?
We do.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So through the 3 different sizes, so the smallest one would be the cheese board, which is at $50. The standalone, the cutting board boxes, they come with board butter. Basically, you just like use it to oil the board, make it last longer. And then everything will come with a keychain. These are all different keychains. You guys can each have one of these. And then we have the 1 inch thick cutting board. This one is branded with my information, with the key and everything. Yeah, it's so he laser engraved it for our logo, and then he put it in the box, so it's all stuff. And then the biggest one is that one that I passed around. This box. Which is box 3, this one? That one would be in box 2. So that's 125, and then this is the big one.
Usually weapons on broken.
Yeah.
And,
All right, then we have a number.
Okay. Yeah, it's all good, because they have to have it, so it's so this is like the sampler. You guys want to check that out?
The biggest question, you have your first name, commission. Write it out. That first one, yeah, where you got it.
Then those smaller items, you may want to choose those are priced as well. So I like the slate posters and everything. Those are really nice. Those are very nice. It's like you sports, you got it for letters.
That's too big.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know.
That's a better shot.
Yeah, I like the one in-
That was not bad.
Are you gonna do a drawing?
Yep. I'm giving all this away.
Are you able to, like, custom where it's just the plain wood without that marking on it? Or
So,
do they all
I
have?
think the big thing, for John is he just wants, like, you place your order, you can have it any way you want. As far as, he uses walnut, pine, maple, cherry wood. He has this darker, like gold colored wood. So you can customize it with any kind of grain of wood. You can have the engraving anywhere you want, you can have anything engraved. Just your view. And, yeah. It's got an order form, there's a whole lot of them.
No, they don't want the blank boxes too.
Yep, they come with a box.
What is expensive? Yes, we touched on that. We're gonna see.
Also, for anyone ordering a bulk, we haven't discussed full prices yet. These done. So, bulk. Full orders, I think 300 keychains. 300 keychains. So, the information is
You know,
on
these are all like,
the
I,
sheets.
These are amazing, aren't they?
yeah. So bulk order.
Everything's negotiable. As
Oh,
far
don't
as.
say that, so much really.
Not-
Oh, wait, we need to our ears.
Like how you want to make it.
Customize. Yeah. Customize those, but-
So like gift box.
What kind of ears?
6 ice cream sandwiches and a nice hand-woven key tag.
Okay,
What a
so this is
day.
one that he. rated for my
Escalation
mom.
clause up to 9 ice cream sandwiches.
So that's exactly what it might look like. You saw it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now we know. the issue.
My friends are.
Okay, so what do I-
Show up, they're like, I got her inside, I'm like, damn it.
Two.
We're drinking all
I'm
that.
on push it, don't worry.
Even if you're cooking on there.
Okay.
So the giveaway we have is the slate cheese board.
Oh, you weren't kidding.
This cheese board.
Oh, wow.
Hard butter, there's keychain in here. You can send these back to them, they can agree with your information if you want. You negotiate. We have some of the set of cheese knives.
Oh, nice.
Condition the board.
What are those names?
Cheese
Nice.
knife.
Oh, my gosh.
Those are.
We have some gold knives.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's.
Oh,
Oh,
these are sweet.
It's on there, but it's not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I didn't know if you were going to put a bird key on the night. Can you burn a key on it?
I bet.
Back maybe on the plate on the side or something. Or visit area.
Gift box.
Yeah, exactly. You got
I
the
like
landscape
those.
there to do it.
And
Yeah,
this
I
is
agree.
a,
I
acrylic sign.
That's
love
great.
like my friends, she put like the customer's name with it.
Uh-oh.
She was.
I can see like. I can hear it.
Very
Oh.
visible, but not in their face all the time.
Trying to get Deborah to move her office to this Mark's office. and
Yes.
She can display all the marks and stuff.
I agree, I think that's, yeah.
She
Where
does.
you gonna fit in this?
I know.
Yep, so for gifts, we can. she can
Yeah.
display- Yeah. she's
Okay.
got those bookshelves that are.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't
Remember
mind. Yeah.
Remember all that?
Yeah, and actually too, Deb and Melanie today are wearing the t-shirts. You didn't post them on the forum yet,
I
right?
didn't, I was just gonna say that.
I like those,
Stuff,
they're
but We're
nice.
gonna have, we have stuff coming in like more and more, like Nickel City red and stuff, but I have t-shirts in my office. If you want to purchase one, see me after the meeting in my office.
So,
I created,
So,
not with this, like, they're like.
so
You
these
wanna
are,
try it on before you buy that?
these are the softest fabric with butter.
Yeah, these are.
It feels like
they're
Nori.
soft.
Yeah, and it's, and they're not, is that the old one?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, well, it's braided.
You can like,
Embroidered,
here,
yeah.
you was like a small, if you want to.
This one is?
Yeah, this is the men's small.
Yes, I know.
That's what I got too. Or with, wear it with a blazer, jeans.
I wore mine last night, it was great.
I go, hey, you. Yeah.
We have more apparel items in the works that's gonna be coming in national.
Hoodies, polos, mugs,
Mugs and
cup
glasses.
glasses.
I do have pens also. But the pens right now have just the Nickel City logo on them. If you want to order them with more information, let us know.
Yeah, it's nice too to have this type of stuff because we're often asked to get baskets. It's like, what can a real estate company do for a basket? Win a free CMA. You know, so this way you can give some stuff with your name and these different basket raffles. Like, we could ask 10, 15 times a year to contribute a basket.
Yeah, it's nice to have for that, or it's nice to kind of have like an item to put in your little closing gift to your clients, or wear to a meeting with your client.
Yeah, and on the fly, but okay, David, are you?
Time for some free stuff, right?
Yeah.
Help me out.
Like,
Sure, okay, so we'll do the next
Mike
slide first.
Everyone here?
Yep, everyone's in here.
All right, here we go.
Go to the bottom.
Everyone in the room? Think so.
Jared.
Jared.
Oh,
there.
there.
Oh, yeah, I love those.
I know you were.
Next, we have the slate cheese board.
Oh,
His name's not going
No,
there.
you can't get it.
No. Are you on trend for gold yet, Jared? Because I personally bring back gold into my whole house.
My whole house is gold.
Is it really?
Ivory.
Kelly.
Ivory is really gold.
Kelly?
Silverware is gold.
I wanted to do black silver.
Thank you.
You win this cool thing.
Cute, thank you so much.
Next, we have the cheese knives. Holder.
Dude, this is awesome. How can you guys not use your
Should put my name in
Yeah, you sure.
Right?
Catch you later.
there. Put my card in.
Yeah.
Sarah E.
We also have this, butcher knife right here.
That's handy.
Holy
You can make me
cow.
that one. I'll-
That looks like a sleeve. Oh,
Yeah.
Are you allowed to sign it?
I hope so. Some people mean.
It's like a weapon.
It
You're in
is.
the call, for sure.
Wendy is.
What's a
Watch out for Wendy.
Should we give Scott a call or?
Hey, come home with that and like.
Colin, don't piss your mother off today.
And that's when you'll say, I was able to pick a prize today, I picked that.
We have two more. We have the cheese board and the 2-inch cutting board, the weapon.
Is my name in there?
The other weapon. So.
There's a good way to get I love great stuff.
I'm very lucky. Walter.
There you go.
No way, really?
Thank you, Dave. And then this two.
There were two stuck together.
Okay.
Because what you guys said, so
We got that
I won't throw that one back in, but this is for Jessica.
Don't be nobody with it.
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't think that's again.
That's actually also like really underrated.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Got a bum knee over there, foot.
Yes, yes.
That's it.
David, that was awesome. That was awesome.
What a fun meeting.
Your box, you took it.
Yeah, okay, so we had just a little bit more to go over, and I'm glad the turnout today turned out really good because Melanie and Deborah actually have a surprise card. Well, us three, but Melanie's our beta tester, so I'll give the floor to you. Well, she had the first.
Oh, I have 2 templates.
Okay.
Okay, so what, did you just say what?
I did not say what it was.
Oh, okay.
I was actually wanting to post it on the forum so more people come to the meeting, but that's like, keep it
Well,
on
all of you here know first then, so that's good.
Yeah.
So what we have going on is that every agent will have, well, every agent that is over $1 million in production will have access to our new website and CRM. So you will have your own personalized full websites and they have CRM connectivity to them. And it all interconnects with all of our Nickel City website, which is by Playster. So the CRM system through Playster will be available to you if you're $1 million in production or more. And we will be meeting with you one by one to onboard you into the system. So we'll be contacting you individually. So it is a new system and I've been learning how to use it for the past week and setting up some templates. So I have 2 templates currently set up that are kind of like testing, and I'll show you them in a minute. And one of them is set up like with Melanie's info and mine's one with mine. So we have just so you can see what the 2 templates look like. So once we onboard you, you'll be able to choose from the templates that you wish. So once we go in there and edit it, you can add blogging, you can add any kind of customization that you want to within the website. It will also connect to like contact forms where people can contact you through your website. It'll come, all your leads will be coming directly to you through the CRM. If you do work with another CRM, like Follow Up Box, or I know some of you have other CRMs that you actually love and work with, it will also connect with that other CRM if you wish. The CRM that Playster comes with is somewhat basic. It's not super high level kind of CRM, but if you want to continue working with the one that you have now, you can simply set it up so that all of your leads get copied to that other CRM that you're working with, and all of the leads will flow right to your other CRM. But the main part is obviously the website, which is going to get a lot of lead capture for you. Also, the website will come with a domain name that's kind of crazy. It'll be like Jared Ruffermat Homes at mywebsiteplatform.com. It'll have a kind of a strange name. So if you want to think about purchasing a domain name, GoDaddy, that's like just your name, something nice and custom for you that you can point your website to. That's also possible.
You can point to it, it would redirect.
It would point right to the Playster website. So I know you have your own website now, but I mean, if you want to, continue with that, that's fine, or have to.
Well, it could replace that, yeah, as long as it, yeah, with the domains.
Yep. So it will have connectivity to all of the listings as well. So it's going to be set up through the IDX, through what our company is set up with currently, right through the MLS. So all the listings will show right on your websites. There'll be a home search for clients. Do you want to see what it looks like? I'm going to move this over because I'm having some feedback. So I'll try to connect on the screen to show you what it looks like. And hopefully we won't have too much feedback when I connect. There might be something going on. Does anyone have any questions while I'm connecting?
Actually, I realized I got one more box.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
Oh, give it away
That's
then.
a sample.
Go for it. So I need 1 second to connect over there.
Okay, last one.
Sure. Here we go.
Last one.
Merritt. Merritt.
Oh my God.
Big one.
Do you want this to- Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Hey, as you guys are connecting with that too, the other thing we do offer at KeyBank, most lenders do, is we do have a digital experience as well. So when I work with your customers, or I just need to send out, even on the weekend, you know, they want to get pre-qualified, I can send out a digital, send them right to a digital platform, or the next page. And then we'll also do the same thing with a lot of lenders are that once I pre-qualify in our digital space, like, let's say it's 400,000. They need to, they're making an offer of 350, they want to change the letter. In the digital space, the customer can change that letter on it. So it's pretty common today. I don't know if you've heard of that from other lenders, but most customers have that availability to do that too. And we have it as well. But it's a pre-qual from us, if they gotta change the letter, change the letter, if they need to go lower to 50 off, or they can do so.
No, I was trying to put them further away. Can you actually lower the volume down on them so that we don't have feedback? So here are, as you can see on the screen, I know it's a little tough to see, but I'm going to show you a couple of the templates.
There is a dashboard that you, once you log in, I'll invite you to the dashboard and you'll be able to log in, create an account, and it's pretty simple. It takes maybe about 5 minutes to create your little personal account, have a password,
And then you're going to have a platform that looks something like this, and it's going to show your back end of your website.
and this is what one of the templates looks like. The background images can be changed at any time, but this one is set up with all of my information on it. There's a whole, there's this section here, which is, you know, buy your dream house with confidence, discover how much your house is worth. All of this can be customized. Your contact information will be in the midsection here if you choose. You can write a bio of your own. All your information will be automatically entered into the website. There's an entire blog section here, which they're all ready for you. And it probably comes to about 20 of them to begin with. And what I had to do with the templates was kind of make sure there was no strange information here. It was like stuff about Boston, I got all that information. But you can start writing blogs of your own if you want, or use all this canned content. And you can enter all of your testimonials in here that come in. You can enter as many as you like. Actually, there's pretty much unlimited, I've noticed, space for all your testimonials. You can collect them all on your webpage. It also has connectivity too with Real Satisfied. If anyone's ever heard of Real Satisfied, that is a membership program that you can actually join. It's a monthly membership, so I don't know if you want to pay for that. But Real Satisfied will collect all of your testimonials from any of your business pages like Zillow or Realtor.com or wherever that is, and it funnels them all into one place. And it actually, Real Satisfied will actually take out the bad, which is nice. You don't let a bad one through. And there's a contact information form on the bottom here. You can enter any of your logos that you wish to add here in this bottom space. Contact information here, and at the top of the page, we can customize pretty much anything on it. This, you know, it says about me, and it's hard to read. About me, my blog, featured listings, or contact. We can rearrange what the order is, rearrange what they say. There's hundreds of modules and pages we can add to this site as well. And then here, there's a search bar here. Anyone can search any property listing. So kind of fun, huh? I can see it.
Copy the electric design. Show me that where a customer would submit one.
The reviews, they cannot submit a review on the website,
Oh,
but you can add any reviews that you get into your dashboard.
okay.
So I'm going to show you the one other one. This is the other layout that there was.
Oh, that was not.
That's not it. toggle between like my login and
Company login.
Yeah, that hurts. It's tab open. It might be easier.
I know, I had to keep like 500 tabs. Here,
This one.
this was the one we just had with Melanie's information. So there's another option. You can have like a video on it. You can have a slideshow. You can create whatever design you like on it. And this one's just a slightly different format for you. So I'll show you more in detail once we get into it. And if you want to edit your site, you can go in and edit it on your own. I can sit down with you and edit it with you. Aw, that's no fun. A lot. I'll show you here. I think it's getting confused because I'm logged in and also the admin is logged in. But this is what the back end of it looks like. You have your dashboard. You can edit any of the website items within here. You can also, if I scroll over this area, any of these little blue pencils mean you can edit those areas. And up here, we have a CRM. And any of the leads that come in through your website will be entered in your CRM. You can also upload all of your contacts that you currently have in a database within there to your CRM here so that you can send out emails, a drip campaign. You can also set up autoresponders so that when someone fills out a contact form on your website, then they'll automatically get a message from you. So you'll see that all in this section too. And there's content in here. There's already layouts here for you to use. So it's not something that you actually have to sit down and write yourself. It's all there. But if you want to customize it, you can. So this is all available to you for free for Nickel City, as long as you have $1 million or more in production. We'll talk to you about that. Just be within here.
In a month.
In 2 days.
Yeah, they do it. $1 million within 1 month. We won't put that much pressure on you. But when you do get to that point, I mean, it is honestly a little incentive to get you to that point too, right?
All right, and that was our little surprise for today, besides all the free stuff that Dave gave away.
Get some keychains.
I want to,
Keychain.
Yeah.
All right, that's all there.
So remember, did you at all bring up how you can buy your own domain? You did, okay. So, but we talked about it in the cohort meeting.
Yeah.
And I heard
Wait,
you
we're talking
guys
about it.
I know you should have saved us from conversation.
I heard you at the end of your conversation, so there's really nothing I can do at that point.
Yeah, I went to go set up a meeting. What's happened? She's like, no, go away. Thank you for helping us. No, she said, just wait, just wait. Okay.
All right, so if anyone would be interested in a t-shirt, I have one in my office right now. And
Want a t-shirt, right?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, well, everyone, thank you. If you need me, I have a couple appointments, after this. I'm actually helping a couple agents write contracts. So if anyone wants to sit in on that for training, you can. Before I jump into that, that's gonna take some time. Does anyone need me?
yeah, you're right.
Okay, who else is in this?
Cooking with me and Sean, pick up the pace.
Well, you know what, that probably wouldn't be a bad thing, actually, to add him into the group text. But I want to meet with maybe
The
you.
first, go to the first part of this
Yeah.
first, and then we could do like a
Yeah.
triple.
I love the small group trainings, like going through the blueprints or even the cohorts, because like everyone just. Yeah. Okay, so let me make a plan.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you want to come in?
Yes. I just want to make sure I got most filled out.
Yeah. I just want to explain what it is for your age.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I know.
I knew I would, I felt it in my heart. We called it just as a go. I know, there's no way I can't.
What's up? Oh, of course. Wait, when's your opening? Is it Saturday?
Saturday, Sunday.
Hi, guys.
Hi, sir.
Gotta
We're
bring
gonna get
John,
like blown out left and right.
gotta bring John, Bus.
It's not that bad. Really that bad in the neighborhood. Okay. It's kind of first word, but you're right out of the bathroom.
The streets are really bad, like, it's not like. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Good.
Okay, yeah, I did.
Good. Yeah. You about the wheel bag?
Huh?
You brought your wheel bag?
Yeah.